champions, Liverpool, ladies and gentlemen. We're top of the league at the moment, obviously in the Premier League, and we've just topped the Champions League group. Liverpool 2, RB Salzburg 0. God, I mean, I'm just going to say this before I get into the thing. We kept a clean sheet against one of the most potent attacks in this Champions League. And by the way, fair play to Salzburg. I'll get into the review in a bit. I do think they're actually going to do quite well in the Europa League. But, yeah, Liverpool are through to the round of 16 in the Champions League, meaning that also, because we finished first, meaning that we're going to get the home tie last in the Champions League. So, where do I start this review? First of all, the lineup. I was happy but shocked, if I'm being completely honest. The defence, the defence goalkeeper speaks for himself. Alisson, Trent, Lovren, Van Dijk, and Andy Robertson. And then the midfield was, that's the bit that shocks me. When I saw the lineup and NABY, Keita, Henderson, and Gini Wijnaldum, that's probably at the moment our strongest midfield we can play at the moment, if I'm being completely honest. And it kind of shows that Klopp still cares about this competition. We've won it already. We've been to the final twice, and he still wants to do well. And as I said, NABY, Keita, I honestly thought we were going to play the Brexit midfield today with James Milner or something like that, because I just wasn't expecting NABY, Keita to start 2 games in a row, especially midweek. And so I was a bit shocked about that, but glad nevertheless. So, and then the front three, again, strong as hell. Salah, Firmino, and Mane. Probably the best lineup we can possibly put now. Obviously, if we had Fabinho and Joel Matip, then now I think they would probably replace maybe Henderson or Gini Wijnaldum. But yeah, so getting into the game, obviously I was a little bit nervous, but I just felt like if we got round, because the way these guys play, they kind of remind me a lot of the old Liverpool side, you know, under the first years of Klopp, where they just go in guns blazing, try and get a goal. And that's what they reminded me of, to be honest. And yeah, that first 10-20 minutes was nervy as hell. I mean, there was a chance from, literally in the first few seconds, Haaland manages to get through in behind, but then Van Dijk doing what Van Dijk does, just clatters him. And there were so many times when they were trying to get him behind, Van Dijk stopped him. And then there was one time when Van Dijk wasn't there, and I think it was either Minamino or Hwang manages to get past, kind of similar to the goal that we conceded in the home tie against Salzburg, where he literally turns Van Dijk, but this one time it was Henderson, turns him, but this time round we had Alisson in there, and he does a brilliant save. There was a shout for handball, but it wasn't really, it wasn't a handball whatsoever. And yeah, they were quite potent, but how that first half was 0-0, I have no idea whatsoever. Mohamed Salah, you've got a lot to answer for yourself, bro. First chance was a brilliant through ball in behind, and on his right foot, to be fair, his weaker foot. However, we'll get onto the second half. Don't you worry, guys. But right foot, and he goes for just sheer power and hits it straight at the goalkeeper. To be fair, you know, I was like, okay, that's fine. You know, it was fine. I can't remember who passed the ball, but and I was just like, for God's sake. And then there was another brilliant chance after that where then yeah, we really, it was a really interesting first half, because one thing I noticed the way Liverpool were playing, we were playing a lot of long balls. And it made a lot of sense, because obviously the way these guys were pressing, it was just arrows. They were pressing so high up, and it led to a massive gap between the midfield and between their attack, between the midfield and their defense, because they just push up, and then defense wouldn't push up as well. So the amount of space that the midfield got, and obviously Firmino who drops in and stuff, the counter-attacks were there were so many. And then we had another brilliant chance where NABY, Keita gets the ball, and I think it was a brilliant ball. I think, I can't remember if it was ever Henderson, I can't remember. But then the ball gets played brilliantly into Mohamed Salah, and he has so much time. He has so much time down that right-hand side just to go onto his onto his left foot. You know, obviously if you're, you know, right foot on the left hand side, you try and shift over to your right hand side. Or if you're left foot on the right hand side, you try and shift over in order to create the best angle. He does that and manages just to drag it wide. And I was just like, especially going into the game, we had to get at least a draw and a win in a 0-0 against a side that are known to score goals. We just had to try and get a goal. But yeah, it was very frustrating. Very, very frustrating that. And but to be fair, it was one of those games where I felt like whoever scored first was going to win, because Liverpool, you know, Salzburg would go on the attack. They would get in behind. Van Dijk will stop him. Lovren will stop him. Andy Robertson will stop him. But it felt like maybe one of time they could get a bit lucky and get a goal. But then whenever we got the ball on the counter, it was insane. You know, Firmino was in miles of space. Naby Keita was in miles of space. Henderson, Wijnaldum. There wasn't that much space out wide per se, but in that middle of the park, there was so much space to exploit. So yeah, and we had so many chances, even towards the end. Naby Keita, you know, Salah robbed Naby Keita of an assist, and then Naby Keita does exactly the same. Brilliant play. I thought Salah took a bit too much time, but then it ended up being a perfectly weighted pass in behind, and Keita does very well to get the touchdown, but he couldn't. For me, should have probably shot onto his left foot in order to create, again, the most angle, even though it's not his strongest foot. But then he tries to hit with the outside of the foot, and the goalkeeper makes a good save, ricochets off him, and those were really the chances from that second half, if I'm being completely honest. Maybe I'm missing a few, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure those were most of the chances that we had in that first half. But if I was to give an overview of that first half, it was kind of, these guys pressed very high and they looked very dangerous, but I do feel Liverpool had the better chances in that first half. And then going into the second half, yeah, we were just on the front foot, to be honest. The first half was kind of, the first half, as I said, was a bit nervy, but then in the second half, it was much more controlled performance from us, and we were just so good. And but before that, as I said, Salah had loads of chances. Salah had so many chances. However, yeah, I don't understand. There was one, oh God, is it bad that I can't remember all the chances that he missed? There was one where he was in behind from the goalkeeper, and he manages to go in behind. That was it. I remember now. So the goalkeeper, there was a brilliant chance from the one side. I think they were going to try and give it for a foul or something. Salah, no, handball. Yeah, that was it. Handball from Dejan Lovren, they thought it was. Hit him in the chest, was not really a handball. Then on the counter-attack, these guys were complaining. Mane, kind of like the Origi goal-esque against Everton, plays a brilliant through ball in behind. Salah first time, I didn't get it. And he just manages to hit it over the bar. And that was a brilliant chance again. I was just shouting. I was like, oh my God. And then he gets in behind again. I think it was from a pass from either maybe Henderson. I can't remember exactly. But it was a brilliant ball in behind. Salah then tries to, again, kind of like the Origi goal, kind of two similar moments. Tries to bring it past the goalkeeper, but his touch was just a bit too poor. And and then the goalkeeper just easily able to smother it. There was literally Salah within like the first, within the first 50 minutes or so, could have had 4 goals and would have been sailing through. Would have been kind of like a la Spartak Moscow a few years ago. And then around the 56th minute, luckily the breakthrough happens, and it was a play that I was wax lyrical about on my Saturday's post-match review, but I'll start it off. It was a brilliant ball from Trent Alexander-Arnold on that left-hand side, and then Mane skims past the fullback brilliantly, and then the goalkeeper, for some stupid reason, that's one thing I've got to say about those 2 goals, about the goalkeeper's positioning, but he comes out quite recklessly, and then Mane does really well to cut it back into Naby Keita. Naby Keita heads it down against his former club. The 2 former RB Salzburg players linking up to make a beautiful goal, 1-0. And the stress, the relief, all of that was just calm down. It was all good. And then from there, it was just pure domination. And before I actually forget, that Salah chance, the one where the goalkeeper Smothers, I believe, he was, after that, they managed to get on the counter-attack and Haaland hits it wide. And he had a few saves here and there from Alisson, forced a few saves from him. But to be honest, he was so quiet and actually got subbed off towards the end. But yeah, I've just seen the repeat of the goal. Oh my God, it was beautiful stuff. I actually forgot. I'm sorry, Andy Robertson. He does brilliantly as well. I completely forgot about Andy. It was a ball into Robertson into Mane into Keita. It was a beautiful goal. If you haven't watched it, absolutely amazing. Then the second goal comes very quickly after. I mean, I believe it was 100 seconds when the next goal comes in. And it was a through ball, I believe, from Jordan Henderson. And Mohamed Salah gets onto the ball. Goalkeeper's in no man's land. The angle is super tight. And you'd think, Mohamed Salah missed 4 huge chances. Has missed so many easy chances. You know, chances that Mohamed Salah would score 99 times out of 10. Then gets an and one from an acute angle on his weaker foot. You'd expect, he's not going to score that. No, manages to somehow curl it, outswinging into the bottom left-hand corner. And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense how he was able to get that goal. Makes no sense. And then after that, it was, as I said, the second half was just amazing. The way we were linking up, Naby Keita getting so much of the ball, Gini Wijnaldum towards the end being absolutely brilliant. Salah, Mane was just, it was just amazing all game. Firmino having so much time, linking up the ball quickly. Robertson, Trent, Van Dijk, it was just an amazing. We had so many chances. I think the stats showed that we had over like 20-something shots. And normally, Liverpool on away days, we are not good whatsoever. But this is probably one of the best away performances that we've had in a very long time, especially in the group stages. And yeah, it was just absolutely amazing. I can't even, like, the chances that we had. There was one where, towards the end, where Salah was offside like twice, left the ball. Henderson just gave the ball, and it was just brilliant how we didn't score. It should have been, I'm not even lying to you, 6-7-0. And it was just red arrows everywhere. Mane had a chance. There was a few times where Naby Keita was able to go into half spaces, and if somebody had given him the ball, towards the final third, then that could have been it. And the defenders couldn't handle Salah. They couldn't handle him. They couldn't handle Mane. There were so many times that they were just out muscling him, and it was just amazing. It was just amazing to see. And it's so good, even though, as I said, I've said this so many times, the fact that we got a win is great. If we maybe had lost the game, then I may be saying something different. But the fact that Salah was getting into those positions, Mane was getting into those positions, and all of that, the front three working as it is, Naby Keita getting into position, and Gini Wijnaldum towards the end, and all of that just gives me so much confidence. And yeah, it was a ball from Jordan Henderson. I'm just looking, behind me is actually just a little bit of, the BT Sports coverage of the game. But yeah, it was just great to see, if I'm being completely honest. And I've got no words to say about it. We were just so good, and the amount of chances we had was just amazing. But let's get now into the player ratings. Alisson, for me, I'm going to say 9 out of 10. There was a few times when they tried playing the ball over the top, and we just, he'd be able to come out, smother it out, and then there was a brilliant saves in the first half. Didn't really have much to do in the second half. Closed down, it was very good. Then left back Andy Robertson, again, solid. I'd say with the defence today, especially the fullbacks, I say it was a very good defensive performance more than an attacking performance due to us having so much space in midfield. So I'm going to say both of the fullbacks, Trent and Robertson, 9 out of 10 performances for me. There was one time actually, you know what? I'm giving so many players 10 out of 10 today. But Robertson, for me, 10 out of 10. The amount of times that Hwang and Minamino were trying to get shots on that right-hand side, and he was just able to block it, and all of that. And then there was a brilliant slide tackle as well, obviously down the left-hand side in that first half. That stopped a very good chance. And he was just amazing today, Robertson. Same with Trent, did a brilliant ball. And obviously he did link up, both the fullbacks linked up for the first goal as well. They were just brilliant today. Trent was also very good defensively. Stopped a very exciting attack today. And Virgil van Dijk. And Virgil van Dijk, for me, another 10 out of 10 performance. He made, you know what I'm going to say. He made Haaland, Hwang, and Minamino, pardon my French, his bitch. They're simple as, because the amount of times they tried to do a 50-50 battle with him, they just go straight to the floor. I mean, it was just amazing from Van Dijk today. He was just commanding any corner, any across into the box, he was getting it. 10 out of 10 performance for me. Stopped, again, a very exciting attack. I can't stress that enough. And I have, I'm probably going to follow them in Europa League because they look very exciting. It wouldn't surprise me if a lot of their players do go in the summer. But yeah, very, very good. And then Dejan Lovren sadly came off injured. It looks quite bad. Knee injury as well. So don't know how the extent of that is. I'll probably look afterwards on the Klopp's post-match press conference and whatnot to see what that was like. But yeah, very good performance from him though around the first half. Very, very good performance. And in the second half as well, he was very solid. And he did very well. So I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. Hopefully, fingers crossed, injury isn't as bad as it looked. And if it is a bad injury, hopefully he does get a speedy recovery because we do need him as well. And obviously he is, we do need him with Matip out. And yeah, it's going to be interesting how we're going to play with our centre-backs. Maybe Gini Wijnaldum or Henderson might have to slot in. I don't know. But, and then we'll go into the midfield. Henderson, I thought today was very, very good. You know what? For me, I'm going to say a 9 out of 10 performance for him. He was very, very good today. He was very intelligent as well in the way he was actually getting out of the... managed to stop Salzburg's press with the long balls. He was the one that was mainly instigating the long balls, and he was very smart in doing it. Literally, when it was, it was it helped us a lot to actually gain control of the game, the long balls that he was playing, and it was just great to see. So yeah, Henderson was very, very good today, and he obviously got an assist for Salah's goal, and could have probably got way more of the amount of long balls he played in behind. Gini Wijnaldum, for me, was very good, but I thought. But around the 70th, the first half and whatnot, he was a bit quiet. Was very good defensively, but in attack, he was a bit more quiet. But I do feel once NABY Keita did come off, he actually seemed he was more involved in the game. He was not making players and all that. I don't know whether that was because we were also 2-0 up, but he looked very, very good. So I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Wasn't his best performance, but it was a very solid performance nevertheless. Yeah, and then the reason I left this guy last out of the midfield, NABY Keita. If I could give an 11 out of 10, he was for me, alongside with Sadio Mane, my man of the match. Obviously got the goal, but even before that was so good. The Salzburg could not handle him. The amount of times he was dribbling in behind, getting into the half spaces, he was just absolutely amazing. He was getting into the half spaces. He was dribbling from deep. He was passing the ball. And I think he had over 61 touches in that game. And it was just such a great performance. And he is definitely staking a claim into that team. He has to. It's so great to see. As I said, he is a player that I've wanted to do well, and I've had so many talks about him in the comment section below of the last video, which, as I said, I was just wax lyrical about. And we're talking about his performances and all of that in the comments. And if you guys want to leave the comments below again, feel free to, because it was, it was nice to read the comments and, I tried replying to as many as possible. But, NABY Keita was just brilliant. Obviously got the goal. Could have had a few assists as well. And if maybe Salah or Mane had passed to him in other occasions, he probably could have scored more as well. So it does make me excited for the following games. I just hope that, fingers crossed, he can stay fit. Because that's the problem that I felt with NABY Keita, that he goes through a great run of form and then just gets injured, you know, through bad luck or whatever. So hopefully, if he can stay fit for a long period of time, he can just keep that position, that midfield position his, and, you know, that's what I'm hoping for. Anyway, now let's go into the attack. I'm going to start with Roberto Firmino. I thought it was a bit of a weird one. Sometimes he had glances where he looked very, very good, and then he had times when he looked quite iffy, if I'm being completely honest. There was times when he would give the ball away sloppily, but then there was also times where he was absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Yeah, it was, you know, especially in that first half when they were just able just to get part, you know, he had so much time and space, and even in the second half, they looked very good. They were just linking up. He looked very confident, and I was just very happy with his performance. I just felt there was just a few, it wasn't perfect, but it was still a very, very good performance from Roberto Firmino. Now, this one, I don't know what to give. Mohamed Salah. This one, I have no idea what to give him, because one way, he was strong on the ball, his passing was good, his vision was good, everything was good, but my guy just decided to leave his shooting boots at home. So I don't know what to give him. I seriously don't. Because if he scored maybe 2 or 3, it would have been a 10 out of 10. But he scored 1, missed about 5 chances, I'd probably say, because after he scored, he still missed about maybe another 2. One where, yeah, I'm pretty sure there was one, yeah, he missed 2. There was one where the ball's inside, he does very well to cut back and then hits it quite centrally. And then there was another one where, yeah, then there was another one that gets blocked. So I'm unsure. I'm really unsure whether, I'm going to give 8.5. I can't give him a 9, but I feel bad for giving him an 8. So I'm going to give him an 8.5. He got a goal, was always a threat going forward, just had to get the finishing touches. That was the problem. But yeah, you know, he could have scored, honestly. He probably could have broken Messi's record for the most goals scored today. I'm not even lying to you. But yeah, so I'm going to give him an 8.5 out of 10. And then Sadio Mane, 10 out of 10, bro. 10 out of 10. Same with Salah, but he was just so good today. He came against his former team. Both the players that played against their former team, for me, were our best performers. And there was, you know, his first half, there were so many times that the centre-backs, the full-backs were trying to battle with Mane, and he would just keep the ball. There was so many times where where, you know, he'd get fouled, and I even forgot first half he had another brilliant chance. He had a brilliant chance to actually, he tried doing kind of like, have you seen it, Rashford's crossbar, the time when he hit the crossbar against City, he stops it, curls it, and then unluckily it goes wide. But yeah, he was just he was always a threat going wide. He was just a menace, if I'm being completely honest. And brilliant performance there from Sadio Mane. So yeah, 10 out of 10. And also, I forgot to say about Naby Keita. He also looked very, very confident when Firmino came off in that false 9-10 position. He got a lot of space, was even probably arguably even more dangerous. He was very, very good when he got there. He was able to get into very good positions and whatnot. And he looked very comfortable on the ball. And that's, as I said, I'm very happy to see that. Going on to the substitutes as well. James, obviously, Joe Gomez, solid. Didn't really have much to do. There was a few times when he had to, yeah. Oh, it was solid performance, 7 out of 10. Good cameo, to be honest. And obviously kept a clean sheet from when he came on. And obviously Liverpool in general. Then, whose name? It was then James Milner. I thought, again, had a very good performance. Can't really argue much. It was just a good performance, to be honest. I think allowed the navigator to push up a little bit more. And yeah, it was very, very... To be honest, when Milner came on, I thought Naby Keita was going to play a bit further out wide with Salah up top, but he ended up playing a false 9. And yeah, Milner played well, and kind of once Origi came on, Keita came off, allowed Gini Wijnaldum a bit more freedom. So yeah, I thought Milner played well again. I'm going to say 7.5 out of 10. And then Divock Origi made a late cameo. Wasn't able to do much, but... Hey, it's Divock Origi, so 11 out of 10. I'm joking, but if I'm being completely honest, I would say 7 out of 10. Anyway, Liverpool, top the group. The RB Salzburg, the ex-players, Mane and Naby Keita are doing absolute bits. We've got next Watford. Hopefully we can win that match. So yeah, if you guys are new to the channel, feel free to leave a like on the video, subscribe as well. The last video did absolute bits, and if you guys leave a comment as well, leave me your opinions on the game. How do you think Liverpool are going to do in the Champions League? And yeah, I mean, it's your boy Ojo Simon. I've had a fantastic day. I don't even know what to say. We're top of the group. We've done Champions League and we're on, yeah. And if you guys, as I said, are new to the channel, feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe. We are very close now. You know, last week we were on 292, I think. Now we're on like 360 plus. So if you guys are new to the channel, it would be much appreciated if you guys could leave a like on the video and subscribe. But yeah, it's your boy Ojo Simon. I've had a very nice day and I hope you guys also did. See ya.